Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. It's another Thursday, and it's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m., and it's also Friday morning in Tokyo, Japan at 9 a.m. They're having breakfast. They're getting their day started. And we're here on a Thursday, just ending off our day. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan. Welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live. This is a show we get together each week and we indulge in conversations. And we want to bring you along into the conversation as well, because that's the name of the show. It's called Talk Back Live. That means you get a chance to interact with all of us here as we do with you. And those of you who are new to the show, the purpose of the show is to get you involved. You see, what I do is I start off everything as host of the show, get conversation going, and then in between all of that, what you can do is use your little fingers and your keyboard on your computer, on your tablet, or on your telephone, right? And you type in whatever you want to talk about, right? And I'll see you right there on the big screen. That's how you get involved in conversation. And if there's anything that you want to talk about in particular, news of the day, news of the past, or whatever it is, we could talk to you about that. We'll get it in there for you. We'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because this is what it's all about. Free exchange of opinions and ideas. That's what we do right here on Talk Back Live. Now, you ought to know that we come from 3 different places. We're live on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and also live on Instagram. So you can pick your poison, whatever you want to be. And you could be there with us each week. We urge you to look at your clock. Now, we're Eastern time, so it's after 8 o'clock where we are right now, but it could be someplace else in your area, a different time in your area. Look at your clock, because whatever you see on your clock, that's what we come on. We come on each week at that particular time where you are. And if you're watching us on Facebook, we want you to take the time and tag this show to your friends. You could do that. Tag it to your friends. I know you have abundance of friends out there right now. And what they do is that if they see that information that you're tagging them, you don't have to tag all thousands of them that you have. You know, maybe have a selective few, maybe even one, whatever. The more the merrier. The more we can get in here, the merrier. And if you tag to your friends, they'll see that notification and they'll know it's from you, and they'll click onto the notification, and all it takes is that click. It brings them directly here to us. They'll see you, they'll see me, and everyone else that's in the room involved and talking to us. And if they like what they see and what they hear each week, they'll of course come back each week, just like you. So that's why we want you to tag them along. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, well, I already mentioned Facebook, but if you're watching us on YouTube, as usual, as each week, I always encourage you to click on and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see there? All you have to do is just take your mouse where you see it right there where it says subscribe. Click onto that subscribe button with your mouse, and that's all it takes. You don't have to do any more. You don't have to pay for anything. It's free of charge to join us. But the benefit of clicking on and subscribing to my YouTube channel is that whenever we come on live, or if we are so much post a video, and you happen to be online at that particular time, not knowing or not remembering that the show is on live, it gives you the notification right there, and you can say, whoop, he's on the air. So let me click onto that notification, brings you right here. Simple as that. Right? So I do urge you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because the more the merrier as well. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, of course, we always invite you to tell all your family and friends about us. Keep the word percolating, and let everyone know that we're on the air wherever you are. We thank you so much for being along with us. Now, what we do in the show, in conjunction with interacting with you personally, we want to do our routine too. We have a routine going on as well. As a matter of fact, in minutes from now, we have Brian Camp coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to link up with him from New York to Charlotte. You'll see him. He'll be right on the screen. You'll get the chance to see him. He'll be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. That's the name of the show, called Sports Update. And of course, we look forward to talking to him. Now, those of you who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get the chance to see him. But if you're watching us on Instagram, you won't get a chance to see him. You won't see him. You'll hear him, but you won't see him because we're not designed that way. I guess technology is not that forward with Instagram, so we won't ever get a chance to see you on the screen. He won't get a chance. But again, if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a chance to see him. Now, that doesn't mean you guys who are watching us on Instagram, that doesn't mean you can't ask any questions of Brian, because if you could do that, and he may not be able to see you, but I'll see you and I can relay those questions to him on sports. Anything that you have on sports, I'll just shoot it to him and he'll answer your questions. But he'll be able to see you guys who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are so glad to have you aboard with us for another wonderful Thursday. Remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talkback Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any kind of social media, Zoom, anything like that, or any social media or broadcast facility. And again, here we are. Summer is on its way. It's just about here. It's just about here. And you know what the preliminary of summer is? Memorial Day. That's coming along, right? So they would call that, when Memorial Day comes around, that's the unofficial day of summer. It's not official yet, but that's the unofficial day of summer. And we don't want to forget Memorial Day, because Memorial Day is the day where we salute all of our veterans, men, women, and all of the men and women past and present. And we don't want to forget the future, because there may be future military people, men and women, who want to serve and help us out with this country. We thank you in advance. And for those of you who are serving now, we thank you right now. And those of you who have served in the past, thank you for your service. You've done well by us, and we just want to keep giving you that praise, because you military men and women are fantastic. You were fantastic all of these years, and you've done a good job, and you're doing a good job right now, and we want to do the best. You have some politicians, they want to bash the military, and but then again, when they're in trouble, they need the military. So I can only speak for me. I salute you. I toast you and I salute you for being part of this country and serving your best and getting this country back on track. My father, my dad, served in the military in the 1950s. He served in the Air Force, the United States Air Force. And speaking of Memorial Day, this week here in New York, I can't speak for any place else, but I know here in New York, the ships have docked. All the sailors are coming in. The ships have docked. It's Fleet Week. So, I don't know if you know anything about New York, but we have all the way over on the Hudson River side, the ships come in and they dock. I forgot what pier they docked on, though. But they're coming in and they're going to visit us for a week. And we're going to greet them as well as, open the city to them. They're coming to New York City, they dock here, and they're going to spend a whole week here right through Memorial Day. So we want to thank all of the military guys and those of you who have arrived for Fleet Week. We thank you so much. I'm sorry I wasn't there to see you guys board or dock in to give you the proper greeting, but this is my way of greeting all of you guys. And a happy Fleet Week, and again, happy Memorial Day. Now, those of you who do celebrate Memorial Day, you already know that Memorial Day is on a Monday, right? So that means after you finish your whole week of toiling and strifing and doing all of those things that you do to keep your job afloat, you get a long weekend. A long weekend comes. That means you get Monday off, right? So you look forward to that long week. Don't you love when those holidays come around, when they fall on Monday and you get that long weekend? And double good news is that when you get back to work, you have a short week. How's that? All right. So there you go. Now, but keep in mind that Memorial Day is not just for a lot of people are going to use it for a lot of things. They're going to be out barbecuing and celebrating and drinking beer and having a good time. But you got to remember what Memorial Day is really all about. Remember what it's really all about. Do your celebrations, of course. And I know the military people, they get their leaves and they're coming home for a while. They want to celebrate too. But remember, remember the man in the uniform, the woman in the uniform that are serving this country. If you see one, if you happen to know anyone that served in the country or served this country, let them know how much you care and thank them for their service. So I don't know all of you guys. I know you're watching me, and those of you who are military people or former military people, I'm looking in this camera right now, and I want to thank you for your service. It's been grand. It's been grand. And when you come to New York or wherever you're going to be docking or wherever you are stationed or you're going to come on leave for something, enjoy yourself. Have a good time and keep everything closed and just focus on good times for this moment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being along with us on this day. I also want to tell you that we also have a feature called This Day in History, which is coming up. This Day in History. And I have all the events of the day that happened on this day in history. I will recite all of that coming up later on in the program. And before the show is over, I also have movies that I pick from Turner Classic Movies, my picks of the week for your weekend. Now, a lot of you do a lot of things on the weekend, and some of the things that you may do may be outdoor activities, which you're going to be doing a lot of this summer. And I understand that, but sometimes you want to take a break and maybe catch up on some movies you haven't seen in a long time. Well, I will relay those movies to you. I just want to add some to your bucket list of what's to watch. So all of that is coming up, and all of that is coming up right here and right this hour. So thank you so much for being along with us. Big news, and I'm pretty sure you already heard about it. This just came in yesterday. Legendary singer Tina Turner, known for her sultry voice and a string of platinum hits, has died Wednesday. You heard about that, right? That's a legend. And she died peacefully at her home from a long illness. She lived in Switzerland her latter years. That's where she lived. And she was 83 years old, Tina Turner. Now, Tina Turner was a trailblazer, especially for women singers. I mean, you had all of these classic and these classic icon singers. You had Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and a lot of other women who just paved the way for the newcomers that are coming up. And a lot of, especially women who are singers, Tina Turner was their voice. Tina Turner was a lot of people's voice. You see, when she came up through all of the trials and tribulations with domestic abuse. And then, when she decided to leave her husband, Ike Turner, because that's where she started. She started with her husband, Ike Turner, with the Ike Turner, the Ike and Tina Turner Review, right throughout the years. But through all of that, she was going through a lot of mental strife and abuse via Ike Turner, but managed to get away from it. And when she left, she didn't have much. She only had change in her pocket. Change in what she had in her pocket when she left. And she decided she was going to take that plunge and leave for good. Only thing she had in her pockets was a few pennies and a mobile gasoline card. That was it. And a lot of people thought, oh, if that's the case, then, that's the end of her career. She has nothing. What she's going to do? Wrong. You saw what she did, right? And as a matter of fact, when she went on her own, she started making these hits after hits after hits. Now, that song that she did, Private Dancer, that was the one that kicked it off. That was a song that kicked it off. And when she did that, she never looked back. And Tina told us in her own little way, even though you go through these problems, maybe domestic problems or what have you, you ought to know that nothing could stop you. If you really want what you want, you can get it. And she also told us that she doesn't need a man to keep going, because back in the day when she was coming up, it was a male dominated industry. And, Ike Turner was dominating the whole thing, but she came back and she became her own woman. She did her own thing. And we love her for that. So we are going to miss Tina Turner. I am going to miss her music. And I just want to say that I had the pleasure of playing her records when I was a DJ. I had the pleasure of playing her records and just reminiscing of all the music that she did back in the 50s when she started. That's when she started, back in the 50s and right through the 60s and 70s, well through the 90s. And when she's at the age of 40, in her 40-year-old bracket, a lot of people say, she's in her mid-40s. What is she going to do? How is she going to do this? Rock and roll. That's rock and roll. She's in her mid-40s, and she did it all. And what a dancer she was. What do you think Jennifer Lopez got that from? She probably would never admit it. Because Jennifer Lopez, by the way, is a great dancer too. But Tina Turner, she did it all. So she is the queen, and we bow to the queen, not literally, but she was the queen of rock and roll, the real queen of rock and roll. So Tina Turner, we're going to miss you, and rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now. Brian Camp is along with us, and of course, he's here each week with us, and he brings us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. What do you got for us today, Brian?
I was thinking about Tina Turner, where she made an impact when it came to parties, when she said, I like to take this nice and slow. And then she started roll it on the river. Angela Bassett did a beautiful tribute to her on social media, because as you know, she played Tina Turner in the movie with what's his name? Forget his name. Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, who played Ike Turner, and that was a wonderful tribute that she made, and it was great. So sad that she's gone. What a wonderful, stellar career that she had, and she went through some challenges, but she overcame it.
Yeah,
and that song, "What Love Got to Do with It," that was her comeback. I think she never really left, but that was her return to stardom and everything. And she will be missed.
Well, she was sick for a long time, but she just never put it out there.
Yeah.
I heard an interview yesterday. I was watching on MSNBC, and one of the anchors interviewed Cher by way of telephone yesterday, and Cher kind of told her, because they were friends. Her and Cher were friends. And she said that, she shared her sickness with Cher, but never shared it with the public or anything like that. And, but yeah, she was a hell of a performer, and there's not going to be another one like her.
Yeah,
there are a lot of women imitators are out there. They loved her, and it's good. It's okay to imitate her, but they later find their own style, but there will never be another Tina Turner. She was tough. She
was tough as nails. And I know that nobody don't want to give Ike any credit because how he was abusive. That's known, but we got to remember Ike put this here thing together too. And it was them two that made them successful. Ike fell off the wagon, dealing with drugs and was abusive, but they both made a wonderful team in the business. And, sorry that they could not turn that around into a successful marriage, but, these things do happen, But,
the good thing about it, that Tina came back without Ike. and became a phenomenal, bigger than she was when she was working with Ike.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. But good evening to everybody out there. It's 70 degrees in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City. We're bracing for some kind of storm that we're supposed to be having. I don't know if it's a hurricane or something, but it might affect my cooking this weekend. I'm going to have to work around that. I might have to start a little bit earlier. But like I said, it is 70 degrees, pleasant day today. We just heard that the death of Tina Turner. We also lost another legend in sports, Jim Brown. Jim Brown was considered one of the GOATs professionally and college football players of all time. He has died. He died last Friday. You know, there's something about when we do the coffee hour on Friday, we just always find some bad news of somebody passing away. But Jim Brown was 87 years of age. He was an activist, an actor, and a football star. In 2020, Brown was selected to the NFL 100 top players and #1 in college football. So Brown gave up football at the age of 30 years old. It's a true story where he was filming The Dirty Dozen, and the production went past its time, and he had to get ready to get back into training camp for the football season. So Art Modell, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, he demanded that he come back or else. Well, you don't tell that to Jim Brown. Jim Brown says, you know what? I retire, I quit. He quit at the peak of his career. Only played 9 seasons, but what a star was he. He played 5 different sports: baseball, basketball, lacrosse, of course, football and track. So he played 5 different sports, and you know, he was a heck of a player. He also was worked to empower the Black community during the Civil Rights Movement. And then, if you remember, in 1967, he helped organize the Cleveland Summit, a meeting of the nation's top Black athletes, which include Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to support boxer Muhammad Ali, who did not want to go to fight in the Vietnam War. And they got together and, you know, they fought, you know, as a team to try to bring peace among all people in this country. Jim Brown was also known for getting gangs to stop the violence, bringing rival gangs together out in California. And he did his work. And 87 years old, we thank you, Jim Brown, for your support to humanity. Also, Major League Baseball, as I mentioned last week, Oakland A's broadcaster Glenn Kuiper was fired. Remember, he was suspended. And it took a while for them to come up with a conclusion, you know, what's going on. But he was fired by NBC Sports California, that's a network, after using a racial slur during the telecast while describing a trip to the Negro League Baseball Museum. Kuiper was suspended by the network earlier in the month, like May 5th, after a slur remark, and then they decided, you know, we're going to let him go. And you watch social media, you know, Facebook and those and the other ones, you know, there's people that defending him where they felt he didn't deserve to get fired. He deserved a second chance. Well, what does that tell you about them? If you feel that he should not be fired, then come on, then you need to look in the mirror. Is he a racist? I don't think he's a racist. I don't know much of him. I know his brother. I watch and follow his brother. His brother is also a broadcaster too, on the other side of the bay in San Francisco. And Glenn Kuiper does the Oakland A's games. His brother Dwayne Kuiper does the San Francisco Giants games. So he's out of a job, and he might get back. You know, if he's sincere, he might get back. He has a track record of making some mistakes, you know, but who knows? We don't know. In basketball, the NBA final finally will start June 4th. but we only got one team in, the Denver Nuggets. They swept the LA Lakers in 4 straight games. So they're waiting for the winner of the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Game 5 is supposed to be starting very shortly. You can catch that on TNT. This day in sports, May 25th, 1919, Casey Stengel released a bird sparrow, underneath his baseball cap. How did it get there anyway? I don't know. I don't make this up. These stories just pop up. In 1922, Babe Ruth suspended one day, and fined $200. Being fined $200 today, that's like people tip $200 at a restaurant for throwing dirt on an umpire. Do that today, you get suspended. 1951, New York Giant Willie Mays' first major league game goes 0 for 5. 1981, Boston Red Sox Carl Yastrzemski, 41, is the fourth player to play 3,000 Major League Baseball games. Only Ty Cobb, Stan Musial, and Hank Aaron did it before he did. 1982, Ferguson Jenkins becomes the 7th pitcher to strike out 3,000 batters. 1997, Minnesota Twins reliever retire Kirby Puckett, his uniform number. And 1997, Todd Stoudemire and Mel Stoudemire became the first father and son to win 100 games in the major leagues. That's really incredible. Both father and son won at least 100 games. Mel Stoudemire used to play for the New York Yankees. Birthdays today. 1926, Bill Sharman, Hall of Fame guard and coach, was born in Abilene, Texas. 1932, Casey Jones, NBA guard, Hall of Famer, and Olympic gold medalist and coach, was born in Taylor, Texas. And in 1968, Kendall Gill, NBA guard, was born in Chicago, Illinois. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a pleasant, quiet evening.
Billy Martin used to kick dirt on the umpire's shoes. Remember?
Oh yeah. Oh, and Earl Weaver. Yeah, Earl Weaver, former Baltimore Oriole manager. When he just jump out, they all know that he was going to get kicked out. He used to charge out to the mound, and you could only get too close to an umpire. So when you wear a cap, the beak is sticking out. So what he does when he knows he's going to get close, he's going to turn the cap around so he could be right in the face of the umpire. So the beak won't be touching the gap. They'll turn it around and get in his face, say what he got to say, but he still get kicked out. That's what he used to do. Oh yeah. The things that players do, or managers.
Yeah, I don't think players get away with it too much these days like that. If you're going to argue with an umpire, you got to do it from afar.
Yeah.
And even if you do it from afar, they might still throw you out. Because sometimes you could put these umpires in a bad mood.
Oh yeah.
From the beginning of the game, they can come in to start the game in a bad mood, and so you never know. But listen, it's not as bad as it was back then, because now today, instead of arguing with the umpire, that's why we have the video playbacks.
Yes, that's right. They do.
And so they could do that. They could, we didn't have that before. And
right.
a lot of these close plays, a lot of them I still see them like real close plays. It's like hard to tell. But the umpire get the last word on that though. But Glenn Kuiper, right?
Glenn Kuiper, yeah.
I think he's going to get another job.
He's been broadcasting games for 20 years. Does everybody deserve a second chance in life? Yeah, I say everybody deserves a second chance in life. But, and the people defending him, it was an accident. It could have happened to anybody. No. The way he said it fluidly. He said it with ease.
Yeah.
You heard it yourself in it,
Yeah.
It sounded like he was drunk or something, but give him the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully he'll land, because I don't want to wish nobody to get fired. You got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
You don't want to wish nobody to get fired.
The
you know.
but they must have put some great thought into it because they took so long to fire him. So they must have, I guess, out of the fairness, they wanted to, investigate it thoroughly, and maybe they had to listen back to that tape 100 times, and maybe even hire a voice interpreter who could hear something clearly. Then because some of these people are professionals and they hear something that the average person like you and I, we don't hear it, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know how it works. And I don't know too much about Glenn Kuiper anyway. That's why I can't make any judgment, can't talk intelligently. I only know what I heard, and I said, okay, maybe he didn't mean it, because there are a lot of words, as I expressed to you the other time before, is that sometimes you could take a word and it sounds close to the word that you want to avoid, and you wind up saying it by sometimes speaking fast, but who am I? Who am I to know? And besides, I didn't hire him.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jim Brown.
It was NBC Sports of California hired him, and then now they fired him. Yeah.
And Jim Brown, we're going to miss him too, because he, like you say, he was an all-around sports guy, an actor. I mean, hey, listen, let me tell you a story. He did a movie with Raquel Welch. And I forgot the name. What was the name of that? What was it? Seven Rifles or something like? I can't remember.
Something like that.
I don't know. Anyway, there was a love scene in the movie, when the two of them were in bed, and Hollywood made a big thing about that. They made a big thing about that. But Raquel Welch told the story. I heard her. She did it in an interview. Told the story that it was her idea. Do that scene. It was her idea. That was her idea to do that scene.
Just like it was the same idea that William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk on Star Trek, he told, back then Hollywood in the 60s did not want interracial kissing. But it was William Shatner, who played as Captain Kirk, demanded that they keep that kiss with Nichelle Nichols, who played Lieutenant Uhura. Yeah. And he said he purposely kept on messing up just to kiss her over and over. And then finally he stepped in and decided and said, we're going to keep the kiss. Yeah. Well, I don't know why they made a big thing about the Raquel Welch and Jim Brown thing, because look, basically, if you want to know the truth about it, Raquel Welch she's not Caucasian. You didn't know that, did you? I know she has a mixture of something. Yeah, but she's Mexican. If she's not fully Mexican, she's part Mexican. But her father was from Mexico, And besides, what's the difference anyway in this day and age now anyway? Well, funny that you said the word Mexican. Ted Williams' mother was Mexican. And he played during the segregation time of baseball. But he didn't announce that. He didn't want that to be said until later on, until baseball was segregated. So you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A lot of these people, actors and people of notoriety. You'd be surprised on what their backgrounds are really like. That they keep it hidden because they don't want to let it out for fear that they may lose their job or something, or be ostracized or something like that. Hey, Sammy Davis Jr. was part Puerto Rican. That I didn't know that. Oh yeah. He was part Puerto Rican. His mother was part Puerto Rican. His mother's last name was Sanchez. Yeah. You don't know. But with Hollywood, you got to change your name. Back then, you had to change your name. Yeah, back then. No one cares anymore. People keep their real name. They don't care anymore. And they shouldn't. Why should you? Why would it matter if you're doing the job and you're doing it well? That's people's personal life are their personal lives. Well, you got to understand, back then entertainment was different. Nat King Cole never got a sponsorship, endorsements and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So,
And and did you know that Nat King Cole, I don't want to go. Nat King Cole cheated on his wife with one of the girls from Petticoat Junction.
which was what was their name? Billy
Yeah,
Ann, or
yeah.
yeah, it was
This one played the character of Billy Joel, but there were like
Billy Joe.
I think there were 2 or 3 Billy Joels.
It was
I
3 of
can't.
them.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was the very first one. I can't remember her real name though, but he had an affair with her. It's Hollywood. What do you want? And thank God you can do it now. No one cares. No one will say anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except for people who are narrow-minded. Why? And besides, why would you care? Why would you waste your energy on caring about someone else when you should be listening? Looking at yourself. What are you doing for yourself? You're thinking about other people. Who cares? I don't care.
That's right.
What the hell? I don't know. All right. Well, we'll catch you back here tomorrow then, right?
Right now, it'll be regular time tomorrow. Yes.
Okay. And I won't throw you a curveball like I did last week.
That's okay. It's okay.
Okay. We'll see you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. The name of his show is called Sports Update. Always glad to talk to him. Always glad that he's here. And as you already heard, he's going to be here tomorrow on the Coffee Hour. Oh, yeah, we have another show. You didn't know that, did you? We have 2 shows. We have this show on Thursday night, and we have the Coffee Hour on Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, he's going to be here, and he's going to, relay more sports. If there's up-to-date sports, of course, he'll have it here for you. We thank you so much for being along with you guys, you wonderful, beautiful people out there. You're marvelous. You're wonderful, marvelous, that you should care for me. Anyway, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and we're going to be with you until the top of the hour. And if you're just joining us, of course, this is what we do each week, right? We get together, we talk, and of course, you can be part of the conversation if you like. And that's why we call it Talk Back Live. So all you have to do is, if you want to say something, even if you want to say hi, you type in, and I'll see you right there on the big screen. I will say hello to you. And that's all it takes. Now, a lot of you people don't want to, you just want to sit back and relax and not worry about it. Just watch the show. I call you guys the passive viewers, You just want to sit back and relax, and that's okay too. As long as you're there, that's the most important thing. But we're so happy to have you out there with us. And as I said, later on in the program, we're going to give you those movies, those update movies, tell you all about it, and add movies to your bucket of lists of what to watch. If you want to catch up on some old movies, some Turner Classic, we'll have them there for you. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, on this day in history, back in 1943, Agnes Moorehead, she appears in the Sorry Wrong Number. Sorry Wrong Number. Remember that? It became a movie later on, but this happened on radio. Sorry Wrong Number. It was on the radio program called Suspense. And that was her most successful appearance. On this day in history, 1950, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel opens in New York City. On this day in history, in 1953, the first non-commercial educational television station opens in Houston, Texas. On this day in history, in 1962, the Isley Brothers released Twist and Shout. On this day in history, 1964, the 16th Emmy Awards. The Dick Van Dyke Show goes to Dick Van Dyke, of course, and Mary Tyler Moore. On this day in history, also in 1964, the U.S. Supreme Court rules closing schools to avoid desegregation is unconstitutional. Back in 1968, the Rolling Stones released the song Jumping Jack Flash. Back in 1968, Unicorn by the Irish Rovers hits number 7. Back in 1969, Midnight Cowboy starring John Voight, Dustin Hoffman, of course, is also in that. That was released and made the Academy Awards Best Picture of 1970. Back in 1973, George Harrison releases his single, Give Me Love. That happened in the UK. And on this day in history, 1977, the Brady Bunch Hour last airs on ABC TV. Back in 1977, the original Star Wars movie starring Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford premieres. Back in 1979, the horror film Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver, is released. Back in 1983, the first U.S. National Missing Children's Day is proclaimed. In 1989, Mikhail Gorbachev elected executive president in the Soviet Union. And back in 1992, Jay Leno becomes permanent host of The Tonight Show. And 2011, the 46th Academy of Country Music Awards go to Taylor Swift, Miranda Lambert, and Brad Paisley. 2000, make that 2011, year 2011, Oprah Winfrey airs her last show, ending her 25th year run of the Oprah Winfrey Show. In 2020, video of George Floyd's arrest and murder while restrained in a Minneapolis police custody shows he was pinned to the ground by police officer Derek Chauvin's knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. It ignites widespread condemnation and nationwide protest. On this day in history, tap dancer. Well, let's see, that's tap dancer and actor Bill Robinson was born on this day in 1878. He was born in Richmond, Virginia. He died at the age of 71 in November of 1949, November 25th, 1949. In 1929, operatic soprano Beverly Sills was born in Brooklyn, New York. I am so partial to her because she lives in Brooklyn, or she lived there, or born there, raised there, and she died 2007. In 1939, actress Dixie Carter of Designing Women, and she also played in the soap opera Edge of Night, was born in McLemonoville, Tennessee, and she died 2010. In 1943, singer and actress Leslie Uggams was born in New York City. She's 80 years old today. In 1947, actress Karen Valentine, who played on Love American Style, also she had a long run on Room 222. She was born in Santa Rosa, California. She's 76 years old today. In 1955, actress Connie Selleck was born in the Bronx of New York. Back in she's 68 years old today. In 1957, actress Hilary B. Smith, who played Nora. Remember, she played Nora, if you're a soap opera fan on One Life to Live. She was born in Boston, Massachusetts. She's 66 years old today. In 1960, American politician Amy Klobuchar was born in Plymouth, Minnesota. She's 63 years old today. Remember, she ran for president last time, right? In 1960, jazz trumpeter Wallace Rooney was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he passed away in 2020. Actor, comedian Mike Myers is born on this day in 1963. He was born in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. He's 60 years old today. Actress Anne Heche was born on this day in 1969. She was born in Aurora, Ohio. She died, as you already know, August 12th, 2022, at the age of 53 years old. And she died from injuries sustained in a single vehicle car crash. Remember that? That wasn't too long ago. In 2002, model Claudia Schiffer, I should say, weds British film director Matthew Vaughn and Suffolk, England. That's where they got married. In 2018, actor Hugh Grant marries Swedish television producer Anna Eberstein. Back in 1955, swing and pop jazz tenor saxophonist Wardell Gray dies at the age of 34 years old. In 1990, actor Vic Tayback, who played Mel in Alice. Remember that comedy Alice? He played Mel, Stuart Alice. Well, he dies of a heart attack at the age of 60 years old. In 1994, jazz and R&B guitarist Eric Gale dies of lung cancer. He was 55 years old. 1999, actress Hilary Brooks. Remember, she used to call him Hello Lewis. She played in Abbott and Costello on the Abbott and Costello show many years ago, right? She dies at the age of 84 years old. In 2007, comedian Charles Nelson Riley dies at the age of 76 years old. And we were already talking about George Floyd. Well, this is the day, 3 years ago today, when he got murdered at the age of 46 years old. Today is the anniversary of his death. And he was born October 14th, 1973 in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And that's this day in history. If you know anything that's happening on this day in history or that I don't know about, and it wasn't relayed to me, well, whatever you know, you can relay it to me. And of course, I will put it out there as well on this day in history. Thank you so much for being along with us. And of course, I already know the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. Now, I always encourage people to get involved in the show. I don't bite. As a matter of fact, I'm just as harmless as a fly if you don't swat me or attempt to swat me. Anyway, I always love for you to come on. Now, if you want to come on and say hi, that would be great. And I like to say hi back. All you have to do is just type in information and I'll see you right there. You can talk about issues of the day. If you have a rebuttal or anything that we talked about earlier, or sports or whatever we were talking about earlier when the show began, we'd be glad to hear from you. But a lot of people would just rather, as I said, sit back and watch the show, enjoy, and that's okay too. But they have that little thing, I want to get in touch with them. I want to talk to them about something, but I don't want to do it live on the air. Okay, here's what you can do. You can email me or you can telephone me, one or the other, okay? And it'll just be between the two of us. It'll be just between the two of us, okay? My email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. Prod is short for production, and you have to spell it A-L-L-A-N. Otherwise, you'll never get through it. frankallanprod@aol.com. That's frankallanprod@aol.com. Or you can call at 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. You can use the email or you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And when you call, you leave a message. And of course, we will respond to that. And if there's something that you want to talk about, or whether it's something about the show, you want to know more about the show, you want to critique the show, of course you could do that. Of course, that's your right. You could do that. Just be nice. That's all. You could critique us, or maybe you have some ideas on what we can do on the show. That's welcome. Just get in touch with me and let us know. And you can do it either way. You could email us or phone us. Let me give you that email address one more time. frankallanprod@aol.com. That's frankallanprod@aol.com. Telephone number, once again, is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. And thank you for being with us today. And of course, all of my friends who are out there, if you're watching us on Facebook, once again, we have just a little more time in the show. And take that little time. We've got, 11 minutes to go, right? We're coming up to 11 minutes, right? Take that time and tag whatever little time we have left, tag it to a friend right now, if you're on Facebook, and let them come in, and maybe if they like what they hear or like what they see so far, maybe they'll come back again and again. And if they know that we're talking about anything that you are interested as well as we are interested, they might come back again and again, right? And those of you, again, who are watching us on YouTube, I always urge you, if you haven't done it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now you take your mouse and there's a little button right there, as you can see. If you're on YouTube right now, you can see that little button there. It says subscribe. Take your mouse and click onto it. I promise you, you won't get electrocuted or nothing will fall out of the sky, anything like that. But what it will do is give you a chance to know that whenever we come on live or post a video of some sort, and you're online and you're not on the YouTube channel, you will get notification. You'll still get notification. Notification will pop up reminding you that he just popped up, he's on live, or he's not on this time of the day or time of the night. So he must have posted a new video. I'm going to check that video out, you know, anything like that. Okay. And that's the benefit of subscribing to my YouTube channel. So we invite you to do that. And again, you can tell your family and friends at the same time, get them all involved in it. And for the rest of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being along. All you have to do is just to keep following us and also telling your friends about what's happening, where we are, and why we're here. Why are we here? I don't know. I'm always glad to be here. I look forward to coming here. And would you realize, this show, I mean, I've been doing the coffee hour forever, but this show coming up towards the end of the year will make 4 years we've done this show. It doesn't even seem that long. November 7th, we came on the air live with this show, November 7th, in 2019. November 7th, 2019. And I remember when we first started this show, we did 2 pilot shows. I remember it well. And they both came on a Saturday night, Saturday evening. And we said, we're going to use those as pilot shows to see how it works, see how you like it, right? And we did those 2 weeks in a row. We did the pilot shows. And so we decided, okay, you know, it's going to be okay, you know, but we're not going to do it on a Saturday night. We're going to leave Saturday open because maybe a lot of you don't want to be home on a Saturday night, but that's not why we didn't want to do it on a Saturday night. We wanted to do it during the week. And I think this is a good time. So we decided to do it on a Thursday night. And when we started this show, it was a radio show, live Facebook radio, right? Because back then you had your choice of audio and video. And on Thursday night, when we did Talk Back Live, we always did it via audio. So we call it Facebook radio. And we always did that. And then the following day, when we went on the air, we did video live on the air, TV for the coffee hour. Now, when we did the Talk Back Live, when we started that and we were doing radio, we discovered one night, I think we did radio. Let me see, we did radio. I have a notation right here. We started radio Thursday, November 7th, right? And then for whatever reason, Facebook didn't have that feature anymore for us to do radio. So we didn't know what to do. So we decided, okay, let's check out something. Let's do something. The following week, what we'll go on, and we're going to do a TV. We're going to do the TV part. So that happened from radio to TV. We started our TV, what we're doing now. We started it September 16th, 2021, right? 2021. So I think we did like almost a 2-year run for radio, and then we came to TV. And so this is where we are now. And here we are, we're coming up to our 4th year on Talk Back Live in November. So when the anniversary comes around, maybe we'll throw a jamboree or something like that. We don't know. But so far, it's a great run, and I look forward to doing it each week. I come here each week. It's nothing hard, nothing major. And I just come in, do the show, and that's it. That's it. And I have a ball doing it, ladies and gentlemen. And when we started the show, I remember when we started, we did the coffee hour first. We started that a long time ago, right? And when we did the coffee hour, we started that with a half hour. Remember, guys, those of you who've been around with me forever, right? Since the conception of the coffee hour, we always did it live, and we did it sometime depending on the weather. If the weather was good, it was always outside. We did it in front of, I'm bringing back memories here. We did it in front of a place called, in the summertime, we were outdoors at a place called Cafe Central, right? Which that place is still there. That area is still there, but it's no longer Cafe Central. As a matter of fact, there's nothing there. They're going to make, I think they're going to have a new restaurant there, but the area, they could set out the tables and chairs, and we used to do that. We used to set out the tables and chairs, and we used to do the show live. People would pass us by, and they used to talk to us too. I had a ball doing that. I really did. And if the weather wasn't that good, we would do the show here in the studio where we are now, right? And in the wintertime, we had to go indoors. So in the wintertime, we always came to a place called Urban Space. And Urban Space, we used to do indoors. It was warm in there. And, you know, in the wintertime, we used to do the show from there. And a couple of times we did something from Grand Central Station, but the main part was over there at Urban Space. Urban Space is still there, and I still go there in the mornings and I have my coffee. And we're thinking about going back there again, doing the show from there again. We don't know. We're going to have to check that out. I'm thinking about that. We're trying to make plans maybe to do that. And we'll see, because it was fun meeting people live and in person. So we'll have to see how that happens. We'll see how that happens. We'll see. Can't promise. Can't promise. But that's how long we did this show. And again, November 7th, coming this November 7th, will make 4 years since we done this show, Talk Back Live. And it was always a pleasure. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for being with us here on Talk Back Live. And listen, those movies, right? Those movies. I only have one movie this time. Just one. That's all I have. You know, it's kind of been a slow week, but it's all I have. Okay, now I know that whatever you like to do, sometimes whatever you do on the weekends, and it's always fun to do things on the weekends, and you go out, and this summer, as you already know, there's going to be a lot of barbecuing, there's going to be a lot of outdoor activities, softball games, soccer games, and you're going to be intrigued and involved in all of that, and I can understand that, because that's what summer is all about. But those of you who like to relax, and sometimes you may be in an area where your weather is not going to allow you to do outdoor activities. They call raining on my parade, you know, and you don't want to, and if anybody rains on your parade, I know you're going to get a little peeved about it. But the thing you can do about that, if it's a good time to catch up on some movies. And so I have one movie this week I'm going to relate to you. Here it goes. I don't know if you remember this. Let's go back to 1958. No Time for Sergeants. That's with Andy Griffith and Myron McCormick and Nick Adams. Now, you may not know these actors except for maybe Andy Griffith, but Nick Adams used to play, have his own show in the 50s called Johnny Umar. I think it was the late 50s, early 60s, something like that. Johnny Umar, he was a rebel. He roamed through the West. Anyway, No Time for Sergeants, that's 1958. Andy Griffith, Myron McCormick, and Nick Adams. And you can catch that on Turner Classic Movies this Saturday. But you have to wake up in the morning to do it. Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Now, if you don't want to wake up that early because Saturday is your day to rest, DVR it and watch it at your own convenience. And that's the best I can tell you. So that's my pick of the week. And go and turn to Classic Movies and check out other things, because there may be other movies that I didn't mention only because this is my pick of the week. You may want to DVR it or watch it in real time. However, it's right there for you. And go on to Movies on Demand and catch up the old movies, and of course the free movies and the up-to-date movies and the pay-per-view, all of that. Again, this is called No Time for Sergeant, 1958, Andy Griffith, Myron McCormick, and Nick Adams. That's Saturday, Turner Classic Movies at 10 a.m. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time. I had a very good time. I will be back here tomorrow. I'll meet you back here tomorrow. I hope you meet me here as well. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., it's the coffee hour. Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And it's you and me, donuts and coffee, the whole 9 yards. Other than that, I'll be back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. Have a long and nice weekend. Again, happy Memorial Day to you, and I salute all of you veterans out there. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host, Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.